Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kiryu here, and now, before we do start, let's give a brief little review. In the last part, a number of events have happened. We had Deku. We also had Iron Man. And these two finally had their worlds collide. However, they're not too different. They were both alone whenever they were attacked. And Deku, he was last seen by Sasha Hammer, who was on a phone call with him. Deku reported seeing a strange mist, and that was it. That was the last thing he spoke about. He sounded concerned. He sounded distressed. And whenever people tried to find him, they couldn't. Deku, he was gone. And that became an issue. He was missing for 2 days before somebody finally found where he was. And Deku, he was found by Pepper Potts. Pepper assumed Deku, he may have just went home. However, after she heard reports of him going missing, that was a problem. She looked into it. He didn't miss school because he was working on some sort of armor and fell asleep and overslept. He just was at the armory. And whenever Friday pulled up some information, she saw what happened to Izuku, and she headed there quickly. This was an issue. And currently there actually is Izuku. Things feel strange for him right now. Things feel off. And currently, he doesn't open his eyes. I'm a lot more alarmed as he doesn't start cracking through the shell. And Deku, he does actually turn. Him's going to step forwards and falling down to the ground. I'm a lot more alarmed and breathing heavily. And Deku, he currently does actually somewhat grab himself. Him holding on to his body as right now things are odd. Everything feels weird. And Deku, he's trying to get his own bearing as to where he is. It's bright, and he doesn't hear a monitor go flat. And Deku, he actually is grabbed by somebody who does actually go to pick him up, them leaning him against the wall and trying to get him to calm down. And Deku, he finally does gonna shorten his breathing and go to quickly gain control of it. The person trying to talk to him. As Deku does turn his head and see Reed Richards. And the man does try to ask Deku if he's okay. And Deku, he does get a stare on. Him going to actually look down at his hands. However, he doesn't see that he's still wearing the Iron Man gauntlet. Now, Reed would go to inform him. Yeah, he already knows. Listen, he'll explain a few things, but they need to scan him right now. Maybe take a sample. They need to understand what happened to him, especially if he was exposed to this mist. And Deku, he's still concerned. Right now, him gonna sit Izuku down as somebody gets him something to eat, since he must be starving. And Deku, he is starting to talk to Reed Richards. The man is he's fucking Reed Richards. What more does he have to say? Deku, kind of impressed. And Reed is talking about with him. He's been exposed to something that's not normal. So far, the substance, they're still trying to understand it. It's something that they've never seen before. Some sort of biological component. It shares DNA with Deku. Though it's a hardened shell. He's never seen this. At least not in humans before. And that's where Deku's a bit more confused. Reed can actually hold up a piece of it and talk about it, asking Deku what he does understand about biology. And Deku, he does it to bring his hand out, grabbing onto this piece and holding it up. What do I understand? I understand a lot. Are you talking about nature or possibly extraterrestrial? Humor me. Let's talk about nature. So, what do you understand of certain creatures that create a protective layering around themselves? Like a carapace or an armor? Um, you mean like an armadillo? Sort of. Same terminology, but just a little bit different. I'm just saying, why exactly do they develop those things? Evolution? Correct, yes. However, they adapt and have these defense mechanisms because of certain things in their environment. So, we're trying to understand what's going on with you. We found something odd. Listen, we've already scanned you and had you thoroughly looked over. Your body's changed a bit. Changed? Wait, are you saying I'm a mutant? Not exactly. The genes in your body, they're not mutant genes, at least from what we do understand. Certain ones are active, yes, but these are a completely different set. It's not something I've seen before. It's gotta be their exposure to the strange mist we picked up. What do you mean? Well, it doesn't affect a lot of people. At least everyone who's been affected by it so far has been okay. From what we can tell, it's harmless to humans. But you're something different. You're not human or a mutant. You're something new. I am? Deku looked down at his hand. And right now Deku just trying to think about what he wants this thing to do. And currently, it does turn on. Deku's staring down at that. Huh? But it's not connected to a power supply. Even then, he doesn't have everything connected up to it. Why is it active? Now, Deku stared at his hand. Him bringing his hand around and flexing it a bit. And Reed does it a watch on. As Deku, he has to ask him, bring his own hand up. If he does have a, well, you know, screwdriver. And Reed does understand. And currently Deku, he does take this thing off. And Reed actually is going to look over Deku's own designs. It's impressive. And it's certainly something. But that's just the thing. He looked over it, and whatever Deku did, it shouldn't have happened. He turned on the machine. I mean, yes, it does have. Well, it must have just been the energy left in the glove. Okay, so was it residual energy, or how did he do that? And that does somewhat concern Reed. And there actually is Deku. Deku, he's staring at the screen in front of him. And currently Reed, he does at least gotta walk over. I'm gonna ask Izuku if he's alright. Yeah, no, sorry. I was trying to figure something out. I was thinking. Are you sure? Yes. I mean, I just. My head's off. I feel like I've been thinking all day. Really? A little bit. I just. I don't know. My brain feels weird and my body feels different. I feel better than ever, though, even though my head's throbbing. Okay, that is abnormal. You said I was something else. Am I some sort of new species? Something we've never seen? Izuku, that could very well be likely. But as for what's wrong with you, your endorphins may still be high. You could still be suffering some sort of lingering effects. Until we fully do know, I suggest that you stay here. Listen, whenever we can release you. And we can say we found you. At least explain away how you've been missing for so long. You, you're willing to do that for me? Izuku, I am, yes. However, I'd like some information. Exactly what can you tell me about what happened the other week with Force? Now, Deku, he would begin to explain it to Reed. And Reed, yeah, he does confirm it. Deku, he shouldn't know about what Pepper handed over to him. Files and data that show what happened. He repeats it word for word. And it does make him feel better, since it is not a fabricated story. And that does put his mind at ease. Him actually going to get a few things set up. And currently at least trying to get Deku to understand a lot. But Deku, he shows an unnatural understanding of machines. I mean, he does see what some of the stuff he's building is. And Deku himself, he's just alarmed. He's. Wait. Deku bring his hand up. And going to actually somewhat look at the computer. Him, going to somewhat focus, as right as pupils do to dilate. And Deku, he does gain proper access to the machine. Him beginning to give it orders. And right now the machine, it does listen to him. As there actually is where Reed does a stare at Deku. Him a lot more alarmed. As Deku does currently go to turn. Him staring at Reed and going to express. He thinks he understands what he can do. This just feels he can no, that's what that feeling is. He's not on a high alert. He's super aware. He's aware of the machines around him. No way. He can almost feel them. It's so peculiar. They're going to turn and staring at a computer. Him going to turn it on. Him staring at the screen. Going to turn it off. Then on, then off again. Doing it again and again. And Deku, he does this going to someone smile. Him alarmed because he just found out he has superpowers. And that is the coolest thing he's ever seen. Now, Deku, he does get told by Reed to stop it. Currently, Deku going to turn and bring his hands back up. Him going to actually try and be a bit more mature. However, Deku, he does find that very hard to do right now. Because he just found out he has the ability to talk to machines. And this is insane. He doesn't get it though. It didn't even feel like he hacked into it. But no, that didn't feel. Well, what does hacking feel like? It didn't feel like he forced it to do anything. He didn't have to change anything or put in a code. He just asked it to do something. And it did it. Him going to actually turn back to the television. Him going to turn it on. And they're going to say, turn off. And it does going to do so. Deku watching. He said something to it and it worked. He can talk to machines. And not just that, it doesn't even feel like control or takeover. It just feels like another language he's speaking. He just needs to think it. And it does impress Deku himself. He's impressed. And he does at least try to figure this out. Currently, I'm going to turn back to Reed. And Reed, he does see Deku actually calm down. However, he doesn't understand. Johnny was the same whenever he got his powers. He was a hothead, but Izuku is supposed to be more rational. Though, considering what he might have thought was going on inside that room, he's happy he's not focusing on that. Since he was apparently in an underground bunker whenever he was exposed to this substance. And he can only guess what was running through the kid's mind. And it does make Reed a bit more concerned. Izuku must have a lot going through his head, but he's focusing on this. But he also must be concerned about the process he went under, how it could affect him in the long run. And Deku, he's not too sure. He felt like he just unlocked a part of himself. Like, he discovered a missing piece. He doesn't understand. All his life, he was standing up. I mean, he didn't feel pain or discomfort from it, but he just sat down and relaxed, got comfortable in his own skin. This is insane. And that does concern him. Is that just how he feels right now and it's going to wear off, or is this permanent? And Deku, he does really want to know. And Reed is going to perform more tests. Him doing one simple thing. The same thing you probably do if you wanted to get Deku to sit down and sit still. You give him a phone or a tablet, and you have him just sit somewhere, since it allows him to test his new abilities. And Deku, he wouldn't do anything irrational or stupid in his hypersensitive state, or his hysterical state. So, that's what Deku was doing. And he was even told by Reed. He can look into a few things and find out how long he's been gone. And Deku, he doesn't bring his hands up. Him grabbing onto the tablet and staring down at it. As right now, he doesn't look up. Reed gonna turn and walk away. Him gonna step over Deku to bring his hand out. Hey. What's up? I just looked at it. It's been 9 days? Yes, it has. I guess you can add enhanced perception to that ability. Really? Yes. Wow. Okay. Now, Deku is gonna turn. I'm gonna sit down and actually stare back down at the phone. As he does go start reading a few articles. He sees that some people have gone missing, and some have been found. But these articles are connected in strings from what he can tell. Whatever he was exposed to, it didn't just expose him. It exposed people. A lot of people from what he can see. And I'm just going to think. Going to say it out loud. Friday, compile data. And right now, Johnny is going to turn. Seeing Deku sit there with the phone in front of him. You okay, kid? Hmm? Superpowers. Oh, I get it. You hungry? I could eat. Though I'm currently reading an article. Please don't disturb me. Leave the food. Deku turning back and looking down. And Johnny, who does this remind him of? Now, that does get through his head. Currently, him going to walk away and leave. And Deku, he finally is going to do one thing. He checks up on the article about himself. And he does get to see something. Oh, what? What? No, but that. Huh. Huh. Well then, that's certainly the name of an article. But, huh. Great. Deku's staring at the title. Miracle Student Gone Missing. And Deku, he is reported as a genius inventor. Somebody who has a very high intelligence and who is dating the granddaughter of Justin Hammer. And Deku, he does read that last part. And he does get to see the name connected to the story. Sasha Hammer. And that, it does somewhat alarm Deku. Since this could mean a whole number of things. And that worries him. Sasha's Hammer. Sasha Hammer. Justin Hammer. Yeah. That means. Oh, shit. He fought her grandpa. And he's dating Justin Hammer's granddaughter. Lovely. just lovely. That running through his mind. And right now, Johnny, he does get to come back over. As right now, he has to sit down some food. I'm gonna sit down. So, what do you find out you can do, kid? A lot of things. You okay? I I just I like to be alone for a second. Now, Deku, he does just sit there. And Johnny, he's not too sure what's happening. But he'll ask Reed. And see how that goes. That currently on his mind. And Deku, he does just sit there reading the article again. And he's concerned. Since if he's dating her, then if he brings her into this life, he's asking her to turn on her family. And he already doesn't understand how that might go. I mean, turn on her grandfather and the tech empire she can inherit. He's not even sure if she's just as smart as him, she could. Oh, there was that time she must be Detroit Steel. That ran through Duke's mind. It would make sense, especially for since why Deku saw Justin Hammer and Detroit Steel at the same place at the same time. Now, with that running through his mind, Deku has a lot he needs to figure out, especially if his girlfriend is actually his enemy. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed, and have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.